I'm Alfonso Jones is a young adult graphic novel that uses a fictional death to highlight the bitter reality of police brutality, racism, and killings of innocent African American people in America. It explains the Black Lives Matter movement and why it is important today and always. Author Tony Medina, illustrators Stacey Robinson and John Jennings, and forward writer Bryan Stevenson worked together with two books and Lee and Low Books Incorporated to create an important narrative of modern day struggles of racism and injustice faced by the African American community. This graphic novel is 176 pages, but the story ends on page 160. I'm Alfonso Jones is genuinely a graphic novel as it tells one story and is not a compilation of different smaller stories. The act breakdown of I Am Alfonso Jones is as follows. Act 1 is from page 1 to 22, Alfonso's introduction and daily life to his death. Act 2 is from page 23 to 55, Alfonso's arrival on the ghost train and hearing the other stories to Alfonso's journey to becoming an ancestor. Act 3 is from page 56 to 83, Alfonso seeing the story of his life to Alfonso witnessing what is happening on Earth. Act 4 is from page 84 to 150, Alfonso observing the aftermath of his death and remembering the past to Alfonso meeting Henry Dumas. Act 5 is from page 151 to 160, Alfonso coming full circle to Alfonso realizing his purpose as an ancestor and his reason for being on the train until justice is served. The act structure is different from the three-act structure we learned. Instead, it is a five-act structure story. The story of the book belongs to Alfonso himself, as he is the main protagonist and he is the central character of the story. Alfonso's goal in this story is to understand why he is on the ghost train and to become an ancestor who fights for justice for those who were killed unjustly. The conflict that supports Alfonso's goal is not only present in Act 2, but Acts 3 to 5, as the entire story is about getting justice for Alfonso. Alfonso does have a story arc as he starts the story ready to meet his dad, who is being released from prison after being wrongly convicted for a crime he did not commit. Alfonso also wants to star in the school play and tells the girl he likes how to and tell the girl how he feels. Tell the girl he likes how he feels. He goes from this to waking up on a train, a ghost train full of people who were unjustly killed by police brutality and violence. Though Alfonso is mostly an observer, he does make changes as he comes to terms with his death and becomes an ancestor to fight for others and seek justice. The story has a clear beginning, middle, and end, a story arc. The arc does end unsatisfying as the officer who killed Alfonso is not charged with murder, and Alfonso stays on the train with the others, unable to move on until justice is truly served. Though the ending is unsatisfactory, I understand that there is no satisfactory ending when a loved one is murdered and there is no justice served regarding their situation. Besides Alfonso, three other characters have arcs. They're Alfonso's dad, Alfonso's mom, and Danetta, Alfonso's crush who witnessed his death. Alfonso's dad's arc was about him coming to terms with the fact that he missed his son growing up due to him being wrongly convicted. His arc was about him getting his life back and coming to terms with the death of his son. Alfonso's mom's arc was about her getting justice for Alfonso and fighting the media who tried to paint a horrible picture of Alfonso on the news. Her arc was about laying her son to rest and fighting for him. Janetta's arc was about her grieving Alfonso and dealing with the pressure of being on the front lines of the protest and others' expectations for her to protest because she was with Alfonso when he died. The story has effective transitions as each new turning point was accompanied by a new chapter with a new name. There were short chapters that were only one page long and longer chapters with multiple scenes. Whenever a new scene was presented, there was a caption accompanied by dialogue to let the reader know that perspectives or topics are changing. It was easy to tell where and when the action took place. Regarding Scott McCloud's ideas of transition, I Am Alfonso Jones is a combination of three of McCloud's transitions. Those three are movement to movement, where basic actions are shown, action to action, where the story progresses through a character's movement, and subject to subject, where there are transitions within a specific scene. There were other types of transitions during specific scenes, such as a single panel with movement being shown through the dialogue on page 141. As for the page as a mini comic idea, the story uses. As for the page as a mini comic idea, I Am Alfonso Jones uses each page to advance the story, and while some pages can be seen as a mini comic, there are several pages, such as page 146, that need the previous pages to add context to the story and make it make sense. Yes, the story makes effective use of directional flow, as the direction is simple and it's not hard to follow along. Page 150 is a good example of the simple directional flow of the book. Now for the recommendations. Yes, I would recommend this to my classmates because the subject is relevant to today's time and can give insight into different perspectives. I also believe the stories of the real life individuals who are featured in this book needs to be told and remembered. Though it may be a difficult read emotionally for those who have lost a loved one due to violence, I believe it is an important comic. As far as my close friends and my family, I would also recommend it to them because they are big on civil rights and they understand the importance of the comic. There are some friends I may be weary of recommending the book to because they are African American males who have been profiled by police before, and they may not want a reminder of something that could potentially happen to them. I'm thinking of one friend in particular. Last but not least, the fun fact. Lee and Lowe's Books, the publisher of I Am Alfonso Jones, is the largest multicultural children's book company in the United States, dedicated to telling stories about all cultures. They've been going for 30 years strong. This was my video on I Am Alfonso Jones. It is a good read, though a hard read, but I would definitely recommend it.